I'd like to welcome the fake news media, which is back there. There's a lot of people back there.
Major media mistakes in the era of Trump, forming a disturbing pattern.
And now, the President and First Lady of the United States will take their first dance.
The tone was set on President Trump's first official day in office. CNN claimed Nancy Sinatra was not happy about her father Frank Sinatra's song My Way being used at Trump's inauguration.
I did it my way.
Nancy Sinatra responded on Twitter, "That's not true. I never said that. Why do you lie, CNN? Actually, I'm wishing him the best."
Welcome to the YouTube channel. Listen, we got a good one for you today. What I got for you on the screen is Nixon warned of media's unlimited power. I mean, this man, listen, I know there's a lot of stuff to say about Nixon, right? There's some stuff that are very sad, but he knew something though. I mean, he knew enough. It's almost like this is prophetic. Well, the things you're about to hear is like, the media has been playing with our minds, right? I don't think we blame the media enough for the issues of society. We blame the guns. We blame MAGA Republican. We blame white supremacists. We blame a lot of different people. We blame hip hop, right? But I don't think we realize how much the media has brainwashed the masses. The perspective that our youth has concerning certain groups of people, the way they address and respond to problems, the level of radical behaviors toward people of different skin color, especially white people. George Floyd era. What the young people have done and what many of the protesters have done during the summer 2.0. I don't think we understand. I don't think we realize what the media has done to the mind. I don't think they will ever be held accountable, at least not in this society, not in this life. But they've gotten away with the worst behaviors. I think they need to be blamed. And I think when Mr. Donald Trump started calling it fake news.
Fake news. Because of the fake news.
And the fake news.
Some of the fake news, like you're CNN, you're fake news.
Fake news, fake news.
You know you're a fake. You know that your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake.
The fake, disgusting news.
I'd like to welcome the fake news media, which is back there.
I'll tell you what, he was correct. And I've become more hostile over the years against the media because I begin to realize what these people are doing. I'm in no way saying all of them are bad. I'm in no way saying everything they say is bad. Sometimes they got something good. Something they are balanced. But for the most part, they are partisan. They are lopsided. They push the bigotry. They push the hate. And they push the animosity in the hearts of people. They're the ones doing it. They've done a much better job indoctrinating the masses than anything else in society. Is that powerful of a thing? Well, I think Nixon must have seen it coming. And he warned about this. And I wish people had listened to him. Listen, I'm going to put a link in the description below. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more. You need to listen to this. I have to provide commentary. That's part of my work. Well, let's take a listen.
Well, they have much more power than most people would like to think. When we think of the media in this country, the problem is that they have a sense of self-righteousness, a double standard on issue after issue after issue. They can find everything wrong with somebody else, but they will not look inside and ever admit that they could be wrong themselves.
He knew because he had to deal with them. The same is happening today. When the media get the story wrong, they come up and do a quick, short apology videos. Sometimes they write an article. You have to read through the article. Sometimes it's a 10-page article. And at the very bottom, there's this little apology statement. You guys don't even know about that. So they might renounce a lie, a deception. But by the time the world realized they were lying, it's too late. The Russia collusion, they never admitted to that. They never admitted to that. Most of the lies and the deception they promoted against Donald Trump, many other groups, the MAGA base, January 6th, this stuff is still built on a lie. But they don't learn from their mistakes. They keep on pushing, and now they're wondering why the rating is so low.
And what was involved here in the Watergate thing was the unfairness of it. Oh, there was a legitimate thing to investigate, but they refused to balance it. They allowed their advocacy to get ahead of their reporting, which is their job to do. You know, President Eisenhower in his farewell address wrote about and warned against the power of the military-industrial complex.
Oh, boy.
I didn't get a chance to make a farewell address, but when I get old enough and decide to retire, and I'm not planning it at the moment, but when I get that old, if I make a farewell address, I think I would warn against the media elitist complex. You know, the media is always...
Boy, that is such a true statement. They are bought and sold. Like even the story with Don Lemon. You could tell the brainwash is so bad. Even after he got fired, he went on X. He was still pushing the talking points of the left against Elon Musk.
You think that society blames everything on racism now?
It blames a lot of things on it, and yeah.
You think that's unfair?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we should not make this a constant subject. I think we need to move on. I think we should, you know, treat people like people.
To show you how bad of a thing. You can lose your humanity working with these people. You could tell some of them, in the process of keeping a job, they've lost their personhood. They've lost perspective. They've lost their humanity. To the point now they have to push what they are told. They have to read the script because my boss told me so. It's crazy.
He's talking about the imperial presidency, the power of the imperial presidency. I think we ought to hear a little bit of discussion of the imperial media and its power. You see, presidential power is limited by the courts, limited by the Congress.
Yep.
The media's power is unlimited.
Yeah.
And some would say, but what about libel suits? Forget it. After the Supreme Court's decision in Sullivan versus New York Times a few years ago, a public figure cannot collect in a libel suit against a newspaper or television unless he can prove malice. And there's no way
you can prove
that that's going to be possible. As far as the media is concerned, all we can hope from them, if they're going to be responsible, is self-analysis, self-criticism, and some of them are trying with their ombudsman and the rest. The other thing is competition. But what we see in terms of newspapers across the country is more and more places where there's only one paper. Take Washington, D.C. Since the Star left the scene, the Washington Post is the only major newspaper being printed in the most important capital in the world.
Well, Mr. Nixon, I got bad news. That was then. But today, it's a different story. Like, sometimes the Washington Post got some things right, but sometimes when you read, you're like, yeah, he's just as dirty. Just as dirty business. I tell you what, I find it to be safer to listen to independent medias, read independent articles, go and listen to, was it Alex Newman, Liberty Sentinel. Go and listen to Officer Tatum's channel. I used to listen to Candace Owens, but Candace Owens been fired. The Daily Wire, I lost interest a long time ago. But some other articles are still balanced. There are other places you can go. I have a few places on Twitter. I don't have all the names in my head right now that I go to, and I can get some substance. It seems like they're very fair with it. You're better off listening to Alex Jones. Alex Jones, who sometimes gets it wrong, but you're going to get a whole lot more truth from him.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Okay, with a whole lot of enthusiasm and some loud voice that might trouble you. You're better off listening to this guy because you got more. You're going to get some serious truth and honesty, all right? It doesn't always hit the nail in a short place, but sometimes, well, many times, he gets it right.
Who is Alex Jones?
You're better off listening to these guys than the mainstream media.
I wouldn't like to leave the fate of this country to the editors of the Washington Post.
Do you think that the First Amendment has been misused or abused by reporters?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no question about it. It's used basically as a license.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Sullivan versus New York Times is in effect a license to lie.
And it's true. While they have been lying to us about whatever they want, they are saying, "Oh, we have to moderate, misinformation online. Oh, we have to moderate hate speech."
But to catch Musk out,
Hate speech on the platform is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform?
Wait a minute, you're the purveyor of hate speech. Like, you don't want to. You say ain't no bigotry and no more hate speech worse than what's coming from yous. You guys are the one lying and deceiving people. You're the one bearing false witness.
One of the hopeful things that I've discovered is that nearly every war that has started in the past 50 years has been a result of media lies. The media could have stopped it. If they had searched deep enough, if they hadn't reprinted government propaganda, they could have stopped it. But what does that mean? Well, that means basically populations don't like wars. And populations have to be fooled into wars. Populations don't willingly and with open eyes go into a war. So if we have a good media environment, then we'll also have a peaceful environment.
And then you want to go after the little guys. The guys with 100, you got 13.15 million subscribers in your channels and you lying. And you going after channels and you telling YouTube, you telling Facebook, you telling all these social media platforms, they need to police the thought of smaller YouTubers with like 20,000 views. Like I'm saying, videos with 500 views. You getting millions of views telling lies and deceptions. And you're going after the little guys. You gotta be kidding me, boy.
Because they can tell an untruth, print an untruth, which some of them consciously do, if it's going to sell newspapers or what have you, or win a prize.
All the time.
And then they can always get behind the barrier under that case of saying, well, I didn't intend any malice. I had no malice.
Yeah. But also what they like to do is the information that we had at that moment. It's almost like what they're saying is, well, because we didn't have the entire story, therefore we said this. That's why they were able to promote and tell us we need to accept this thing. Even though some of them knew it was wrong to go against the conscience of the people. Some of them knew it was a violation of freedom of conscience. It was a violation on religious liberty.
Who think that they can do their own research.
Don't do any of your own research.
Doing your own research is associated with conspiracy theory circles. This go-it-alone approach, doing your own research, that can have serious consequences. You should get prison time for even questioning the vaccines.
Can we all stop saying, I need to do my own research?
That phrase, do your own research, is 4 words. 4 little words that are hurting America. Doing your own research.
Yet they pushed it. And they say, if you don't go along with this, you're just trouble.
I think we have to stop coddling people when it comes to this and the vaccine, saying, oh, you can't shame them. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them silly. Yes, they are. The people who are not getting vaccine, who are believing the lies on the internet instead of science, it's time to start shaming them.
But have they apologized? Even those stories have come. AstraZeneca and Johnson and all these other manufacturers, right, companies and everything, they've come out admitting that their stuff was causing problem, and it's part of the reason why people are having certain issues, health problems in their hearts, right? I'm speaking backward here. Oh, they have not come to apologize. They promoted this matter.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
Until today, they still have yet to say, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how many graveyards we have, how many families had to bury their loved ones because they believe what we're told to them by the media. No accountability, no responsibility. All is well, let's move on. I'm telling you, God is going to spank somebody in the last days. Oh, I can't wait. Let's move on.
That's a terribly cynical approach, though, to people who are doing their best, who are going to work, who are maybe trying to sell papers, certainly, but are trying to tell the truth.
Let me say right at the outset of this conversation, I made it clear that I was not speaking personally. I was not speaking generally. I'm simply speaking of what I have found to be an unfortunate majority at the present time. I think it could change. There are a lot of very good, responsible reporters, particularly in the writing press. Not yet that much in television, because television is so consumed with ratings and the rest. They'll do almost anything to get a story.
Is there any way to get some kind of a handle on this situation? Should the media be investigated? Should it be controlled?
No, I may disagree, for example, with what some president does with his power, but I don't want to abolish the presidency, or I don't want to control it. The same is true of the press. I believe in a free press. I do not want government control under any circumstances or government censorship of either radio, television, or newspapers. But I'm simply suggesting here that all of the media should look within themselves.
That's never going to happen. I was just telling you. It's just like a criminal, all right? It's just like a drug dealer. If it's working, why change it? Even though somebody might get hurt, but in the process, I make money. Duh. You think the media is going to wake up and look within? The only reason I think the media is now trying to change their perspective is because there's competition.
Listen, all I'm saying is they're actors. They get paid far too much to pretend for a living. What's everyone talking about today?
Competition changes everything. When smaller channels are getting the attention, when smaller YouTube, now everybody with a camera, with a mic right now has got a YouTube channel. If you can read an article, you can share a thought, you can pretty much have you're better than the media. Say something about something and talk about it in the most honest way. You better off than these people. You can get to the truth and you can explain it in your own perspective and share some thought at the end. Brother, you good. Like, you don't need a degree. So I think the constant competition that the media is experiencing right now is causing them to do a little bit of self-examination. Because when people are consuming the information from independent medias, they go into the YouTube channels, the Officer Tatum, the Black Conservative Perspective, you know what I'm saying, the Benny Johnsons, they go into these places to consume and find out the rest of the story, the Charlie Kirk. If that's where they're going to get it, then the media now has to say our ratings are bad because the competition is winning. Now we have to tell the story differently. That's why every now and then you might see CNN, does a report that's like decent. You might see, certain channels. Fox News, I think Fox News is decent. Not perfect, but decent. I think they still got their leaning and stuff. But you might find certain channels that are off the mainstream media, trying to do a decent reporting. But it's all, for the most part, they're all jokes. Like the Views have become like a media network in itself. It's a big joke. Okay? So you can't trust these people. If you think they're going to look within and be converted by the power of what? By the power of what? Self-examination? Only Jesus converts the heart. It's not going to happen. The only thing that has happened from the time of Nixon is that the situation has gotten worse.
We're suggesting here that all of the media should look within themselves. Look through that microscope at themselves. Look in the mirror now and then, rather than looking out there to others.
I mean, I agree. I think the media is a joke. I think the media has become a propaganda machine for the left. It's working for the elites. They serving those in power. That's just what it is. The media is bought and sold, and the people that are working there are just doing the bidding of those in power. It's just what's happening. Okay. I think the solution is that to counter out false information, we need more speech and true information. So people with a camera or a phone with a desire to tell the truth is what we need right now. Like the Bible says, we must speak the truth in the heart. We must say it like it is and open our mouth, and God will fill it with the truth. The thing is, the world is dying for the truth. The media is joking and playing and lying and deceiving and misleading. What has to happen, more competition has to take place. More competition has to happen. You got to rise and speak up. I got to rise up and speak up. That's why I have a YouTube channel. I have to say something, because I'm like, yo, I'm tired of you lying. I'm going to say something. I'm going to tell the truth. All right, even though I get trouble for it all the time. Got strikes and this and that. But it's okay. But at least when you tell the truth, the people that are listening, who are hungry for the truth, will pay attention, will listen. And the thing about the truth, it always wins the heart. It always sets people free. But you must also understand, when the media lies and deceive and con people, once the damage is done, it is done forever. Even though they might come back and say, we're sorry, we had the situation wrong. But the election is already lost, right? The family's already hurt. The graves are already open. People already made their decisions. So it doesn't matter, even though they retract and recant of certain things they might have said. But the fact that the damage is already done doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They just move on to the next. And that is the problem. So Nixon was trying to warn. He was trying to warn. He's been with it, man. He's dealt with them. He had to suffer because of what the media has done to him. But again, I'm wondering if we are even paying attention. Anyway, share your thought and perspective with me. I want to hear from you. Link in the description below. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more if you enjoyed this video. Support the channel. Stand with us. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.